Sulaiman Lubega, a consultant pediatric cardiologist here in Mulago Hospital Complex. Doctor is going to be telling us about heart disease in children. How are you doing, doctor?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm well. Thank you for having us here. Thank you for your time.
It's a pleasure.
What exactly is heart disease?
There's no single disease. This is a really broad spectrum of diseases that we shall be talking about, and they include those that the children may be born with, which are called congenital heart diseases, and those which may be acquired when the children are born. Largely speaking, in our institute here in Uganda Heart Institute, in a year, in about 365 days, we see about 3,000 children with heart diseases, and 3/4 of these will be born with the heart diseases, while about just a quarter will be those diseases that the children are born with. So we break them into those congenital, meaning that those are the diseases that the children are born with, while the acquired are those that the children get after birth. When we are talking about congenital heart diseases, we are really talking about, you hear commonly people talking about holes in the heart. Holes in the heart are many, but commonly we have the ventricular septal defects, atrial septal defects, and PDA, patent ductus arteriosus. These are the common holes, but there are many holes all over the heart that may occur.
In the lay language, would this mean small and big? And
these would be various sizes. Each of those diseases, whether it is a VSD, atrial septal defect, or PDA, can be from small to moderate to large. So really, we are not talking about sizes at this stage. We're only talking about the disease category, but they vary in severity. While we also have problems where the valves, the heart valves, may be blocked or may not be opening and closing well. So if they are opening but not opening fully, that one we call it stenosis. The heart valves are blocked, so the child may be born with that sort of problem. But sometimes they can be born with a problem, in which case the valves are not able to close well. So that when they close, they reopen, meaning that the valve will be leaking back, blood will be leaking back in the opposite direction. So that is regurgitation. So those are some of the problems that the children may be born with. But also those diseases vary, the diseases that the children are born with. So some of them may have a combination of holes and blockage, a combination of holes and regurgitation. So really, there are various ways.
What causes heart disease?
Before I go to the causes, I just want to talk about the acquired heart diseases, because we've said that the congenital are more than acquired, but they're also acquired heart diseases, which are very, very important in our case. And amongst these, we have the diseases which are affecting the heart valves, and that is rheumatic heart disease. It's the commonest cause of acquired heart disease in Uganda, and it will constitute about 80% of the acquired heart diseases. Other diseases will include the covering of the heart, which is called the pericardium. If it is diseased, we call it pericarditis. So that pericarditis is another condition, but sometimes it could be the muscle itself of the heart muscle, and that we call it myocarditis. So all these layers, different layers of the heart, which are 3 in number, may become sick for some reason or the other. But sometimes some children may get hypertension, which is not common in children, it's more in adults, and that will affect the heart. So when we get down to the causes, most of the diseases are really congenital, meaning that the child was born with it. Largely speaking, we don't know the cause. However, we know that there are some associations, there are some things, there are some patterns that we tend to see in these children who have congenital heart diseases. And the main pattern we see is genetic abnormalities. Genes are very, very minute fragments which are found in the cells, which determine the outlook. How we look and how we function, how we do anything, depends on the genes. So if there are abnormalities with those small particles in the cells, then they may affect the development of the heart. And the commonest is Down's syndrome, or sometimes locally they may call it Mongolian syndrome. Mongolians. However, we also do have other things which may affect the child when the child is still in the mother's womb. And that also includes drugs. The drugs that we take, and this is why we encourage pregnant women not to take drugs anyhow. Any mother who is expecting or who is pregnant should not take drugs without a doctor's prescription, because there are many drugs that may affect the unborn child and lead to these defects. So we do also have things like radiations, X-rays, strong magnetic rays or radiations, which may affect the unborn child inside the mother's womb and may lead to these problems. But also we know the diet, the mother's diet, if it is deficient in folic acid, if it is deficient in proteins, that malnutrition alone may affect the unborn child. We also know that what we take, because we talked about drugs, alcohol is one of those which may be classified as a drug. Smoking, if the pregnant mother is taking this, may affect the unborn child and lead to these problems. When it comes to those acquired heart diseases, like I told you, the commonest is rheumatic heart disease. And that stems from the disease which is called rheumatic fever. Rheumatic heart disease is a complication of rheumatic fever. And what causes rheumatic fever? Rheumatic fever is something that comes following a sore throat. So sore throat infections in children are very, very important to us because we know that germs which affect the throat may affect the immune system in a way that they affect the heart to cause rheumatic fever. And that rheumatic fever will include other things apart from the heart. It may include the joints, the skins, the brain, but most of the blood, or when it persists in the body, the organ that is mainly affected in the long run is the heart. We also know that some drugs, there are some particularly cancer drugs, anti-cancer drugs, may affect the heart muscle and affect its function. We know that there are also other infections like HIV, the human immunodeficiency virus, which causes AIDS, can also affect the muscle of the heart. Nutrition still. There is a disease which is now coming down in our midst. It's called endomyocardial fibrosis, which is associated with malnutrition. A diet which is very high in carbohydrate and very, very poor in protein, and which is something that is commonly consumed by many people up country. They may eat their cassava and potatoes with a cup of dry tea, and they take that for lunch and supper, meaning that they have no protein content in that diet. There's no milk in that content, and there's no sauce. And many of the people can also not afford animal proteins, which are the best proteins.
What is the available treatment?
The treatment will depend on the degree or the severity of the illness. The mild cases, mild to moderate cases, don't need any surgical treatment, and quite frankly, most of them even don't need any medical treatment, especially the mild. Those, we just keep following them up to see their progression, because quite commonly, these diseases are not static. They tend to progress over a period of time after birth. That category, when we need to start drugs, conservative management versus surgical management. So sometimes, even when they come, there may be an indication for surgical management, but we don't have drugs. And those are the moderate to severe. We begin them on some drugs. When there are signs and symptoms of mainly heart failure, then we need drugs to treat this heart failure. Then there's a category whereby even when the patients are on drugs, they're not doing better, or we know that this disease is going to progress into another complication, or the diseases may already be presenting with complications. Then we need to offer a surgical option. At the moment in Uganda, we have limited availability of surgical options. We are able to close holes in Uganda like PDA, ASD, VSDs. However, sometimes when there are various combinations of these holes, blockages, and like malformed vessels, then quite often we need to get like some experts coming in to beef up our local team, and some patients we may have to refer them abroad. Signs and symptoms of heart disease in children. Quite often, when we're talking about congenital heart disease, remember these children, it means they were born with a problem. Quite often, they note the color of the child may be blue. Most of the children have a light color, at least as newborns, but they detect that color of blueness, or the tongue is blue, the hands are blue. We call it cyanosis in our medical language. So that blue hue, or blue color, or blue tinge, if it is noted, that should arouse suspicion of a heart disease. Then there is difficulty in breathing. The children are breathing badly, and we note that usually in children, when they breathe in, the chest goes deeply inside as they breathe in. So chest indrawing can be a sign of heart disease. The other thing is failure to feed. If they are feeding poorly, if they are very weak, they get tired easily, they are very weak, they're not able to breastfeed, they may be failing to gain weight. That can be also another sign when they are failing to gain weight. Your child may be 1 year old, but looks as though he's a 2-month-old child. So that can be also another important sign. Excessive sweating. Sometimes these children are sweating excessively. Even in the cold, they are sweating. So this excessive sweating should arouse suspicion of a heart disease. Other things, as the children grow up, there are things like body swelling. When the child's legs, eyes, and so on, when the body swells, that should also raise suspicion of a heart disease. Then there is what we call palpitations, abnormal awareness of the heartbeats. Quite often we don't feel our hearts beat, but if this child feels the heart beating abnormally, and quite often it is rapid heartbeats, that can also lead to suspicion of heart disease. Another important symptom is fainting attacks. If somebody is there and feels unnecessarily dizzy without any due explanation, and sometimes they collapse or pass out, that can also be some important indication of heart disease. Experience chest pain, and that is left side, if the heart is on the left side of the body. If they experience chest pain, especially when they're doing some activity, or when they're running, like at school and so on. If they experience chest pain, particularly on the left side, or the side of the heart, then all those need investigation for probable heart disease. The cure of heart diseases. Remember, I told you that some holes may heal by themselves. And quite often, because these children have holes, when they go to the herbalists and they give them some herbs, okay? Then when the hole closes, then they take the herbalists take the pride, thinking they did some great job. And this is why some of the patients with heart disease may end up with the herbalists. However, we know that some of these holes may close, like PDAs. These are patent ductus arteriosus. If we get a newborn, and quite often sometimes they are born prematurely, those are predisposed to having holes in the heart. So if those children have these holes, as they grow to maturity, preterm, I mean children who are born before 9 months of pregnancy. For example, a child is born at 7.5 months of pregnancy. That one is called a preterm. So those children are prone to having holes in the heart. So as those children grow to their maturity, to reach the other 9 months, which they would have achieved in pregnancy, these holes are not closed. But also these other holes like ASDs, BSDs, there are some mechanisms through which they may close spontaneously. So we know that some of those may close. But we said some conditions will not cure. Okay? Some conditions like all these we are saying, like a valve is blocked, we know that one can only become worse quite often, or sometimes it may get less. Or, especially when we have children who have like small vessels. Some children will have abnormally small vessels, and as they grow, the vessels become bigger as they grow, and that abnormality goes away. But we know that most of these other diseases may need treatment. Like I told you, TB, which may affect the heart, that may need specific drugs. If we are talking about traumatic heart disease, that may need some drugs, but those drugs will only control the disease without curing it. Sometimes they're able to convert it from a moderate to a mild disease, but then that risk does not go away. And quite often, because children will default, or their parents will default on the treatment, quite often these diseases will progress to a severe level, in which case they may need operation. So largely speaking, there are those which can cure, but quite often, once you have these heart diseases, they will be either stagnating or progressing to severe levels.
That was it on Life Stories today. Thank you so much for watching the show. Heart diseases or defects are a major factor in society today. Parents, guardians out there, do not keep the children in your houses. Do not go to the papers. Do not go to the churches. Come to the hospital. There is available solutions and help. You will be helped, just like the doctor explained. Otherwise, as you look out for the things that the doctor noted as regards heart diseases in children, you should also note that other things could affect a child's heart, not medically per se, but emotionally. Things like mistreating children, things like an unhealthy environment. So look out for these too. We shall have another feature on heart diseases in adults, and also we shall bring you more stories of survivors of heart disease and conditions. I'll see you next time. My name is Justine, your host. This show is proudly brought to you by Radiant Products, and also I am dressed by Lady Christine. Take care of life because life is precious. I'll see you next Sunday, same time.